Quay một cái mặt này rồi.
Ví dụ cái gì mà con này dựa.
Ui! Look. Look. Quay một cái mặt này rồi.
Ví dụ cái gì mà con này dựa.
Ui! Look. Look.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds.
Void Spirit was not touched at all in our draft.
Yeah.
I actually did not notice that. For whatever reason, Underlord got banned, which...
Yeah, I thought that was a little bit peculiar as well.
In the first phase, too,
yeah,
right?
first phase, third ban, I think.
Meanwhile, Mars was banned both times in the Chinese series that's going on right now. And then there was still some similarities, like Bad Rider, for example. Underlord again, they just do not want to give that to Adroit.
I guess it's one of the, I mean, especially in the current patch, right? You just don't want someone who can just sit in a tier 3 tower and defend forever, right? And Underlord, I mean, we saw Coddle and I was watching a European game yesterday. Coddle was the only reason a team just held their base forever. Just wave clear, right? Blitz always says it.
I think the nerf to bots, kind of like Force Staff, does buff a lot of heroes. I think heroes with innate TPs do get better, like Furion as well as Underlord. Yeah. So maybe Adroit and Scrims.
Yeah.
That's something we have no idea of knowing from our perspective.
That's the thing about these leagues, which is so nice. Like, these teams know each other way more than anything else. Sure, when you go to a LAN, you know what's picking what, but here, the Scrims actually do matter.
Yeah.
Like, a lot.
I think what contributes to what Brian was saying about Scrim information is the last time they played Underlord was in WePlay recently against TNC. That was 6 days ago, and they lost.
Yeah.
Then that's the only time they played Underlord recently. So obviously they had an idea. They thought it was good. Even if they lost in that series, they probably have been playing it since. And Geek fam were probably on the receiving end of that.
Wow. Do you think the Enchantress pick is because of the buff to the axe?
The buff to the axe, indeed.
How much do you have to buff that axe? For it
Make
to
it like 800.
800. She's, whoa. All of a sudden she's off screen.
On a 2-second cooldown.
Enchantresses are just chasing after you by turning around and spriking your direction.
I'm telling you, the funniest clip I ever saw was Zai playing Enchantress on his stream, and he was losing miserably, but the enemy team was like diving them in their base, and he kept sprinking like down and up from the high ground to low ground, like in base, so the enemy team would chase him and he'd sprint to the low ground. They'd all go to the low ground to chase him and he'd sprint back up. That was so funny, man. That ability is definitely one of the derpiest things that we'll never have the pleasure of seeing in these games. But another clockwork for Adroit. They had great success with it last game, despite not the most the highest hook proficiency.
Yeah, not necessarily the best cogs at times, but yeah.
He had rough. He got on top of I mean, he was versus Shadow Fiend, right? Once you get on top of him once, you've done your job, even if you miss a few hooks.
For sure.
And Geek Family first picked the Shadow Demon, and Adroit didn't have first pick, so they last ban the Chen, and they take the Enchantress. Is it... I mean, for a while, Enchantress was going off lane. Do you think this is going to be the 5 Enchantress that's played like a Chen, maybe?
I refuse to believe. So last patch what happened was Enchantress would just bully you out of the lane with impetus, right? Then they nerfed it to 65 mana instead of 40 level 1, and it became really hard to bully people. And now there's a bajillion regen items. I have a hard time believing Enchantress 3 is a thing. I think if she has like support with Blightstone, you know, maybe getting some early creeps, I could see that being a nice lane securing 5, but I think impetus, I have a hard time believing that it would be enough damage to out-harass any of the safe lane carries right now. And they go for the Lesh. What I do like about Lesh is it combos well with the Shadow Demon, the Disrupt into Split Earth, but you also have the fact that it's a hero that, when it gets cogged, kind of just kills the Clockwork, and then it's also a natural way of killing the Enchantress through the Untouchables, so whether or not it's core support, you kind of just walk at her. So,
and I think that makes it even more likely. I agree with you about the 3-inch. Okay. Well,
what?
I was saying it really should be a 5 Enchantress because you're playing against a Leshrac. You don't want to put a high priority in that.
Maybe
hero.
it's a 3 clock?
It is, right? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, if you get a fast blade mail, like, you're more effective against Leshrac. Same goes with, like, you really need 4 staff against 2 of these heroes at least.
I like Jug or something like that for
10 seconds
for a droid here. Just like hard to bring down core. Geek Fam's entire lineup's about killing you right now. You need some sort of self-sufficient hero. None of your heroes right now offer save. So what I see from Geek Fan's draft is kill, 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 and I see no save. So if I'm picking my carry right now, I would want a hero that protects itself and doesn't rely on its team to back them up.
Well, we talked about 2 high regen heroes earlier. Lycan and...
Oh yeah,
Geek.
Lycan Lush pretty decent against Lycan. But if I personally haven't had the experience to play Lycan this patch, so they go for Lone Druid.
Instance.
Naga
Siren. Wow. Oh, the disruptive Naga combo. Yeah, the one thing about this 2 bans thing, or the 1 ban now between the first and second round, is I said that it becomes much easier to combo because you can't block as many late pick combos in the draft. So I think Disruptor Naga is going to be a perfect example of something we see more and more, where because there's just these less late game bans or late draft bans, now that they've seen some of your draft and they'll be like, we might be afraid of a Disruptor Naga combo or a Darkseer Earth Spear combo or whatever. They're not going to be able to ban all that out because there's only half as many bans. So, pretty nice Naga Siren game, to be honest. She's really nice against Enchantress in general, in the lane. Just, if it is a 3 Enchantress, it's nice against 3 Clockwork, because Clockwork has Battery Assault, which is single target. So she should have a good lane, goes well with her team. They have real no way of shutting her down on her farm, like invading her jungle until Nyx 6 plus... I think Adroit's going to have to draft a follow-up to threaten this Naga, like a Storm Spirit type hero, like a long reach. You know, whoever the Nyx scouts out can follow up immediately, because I don't know. I don't really think Adroit's draft does anything right now. What do you think, Cap? I'd ask Grant, but he's only here to be the host. So.
Yo, what up?
It is a very weird lineup. Like, I'm waiting for that piece that all of a sudden makes all these heroes make sense.
Yeah.
You know, right now it's just a bunch of small little pick-off, and you have this lone druid who, yeah, like, I think it's a good mid laner against Leshrac, right?
I believe it would do well, yes.
So, you have that, but that, like, I don't see a whole entire game plan here. I don't see how your team fight is going to be anywhere close to taking on Geek Fam, especially if cooldown Serap.
There's no pick you can pick here that wins team fights, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
You have to go for
like
pickoffs, right?
I thought about like Puck, like, oh, maybe they're going with some sort of Lone Druid Puck combination, but you can't do any of that, plus your Lone Druid's probably mid.
Death Prophet's a good ban, I think. Because you don't necessarily win team fights that way, but it may be really hard to fight into DP Lone Druid before you get like level 2 ultimates kind of thing. I thought Lesh might have been significantly nerfed by the Boots of Travel, but they also reduced the mana cost on his ultimate as it levels up.
10 seconds
so maybe we'll see more. This may even be an offlane Lesh, where he builds maybe Greaves pipe kind of build. We'll find out here.
So I was like was like, I don't remember this team being a Meepo team. And then I was like, I definitely don't think they were a Lone Druid team. That would have stood out to me in Southeast Asia in particular, because I don't feel like there's a lot of Lone Druid players, right? And I was like, so I was just looking it up. I was like, this would have stood out to me. Only Mac has played Lone Druid, and it was once, and it was like a year ago, 2 years ago.
That's pretty crazy.
Dude, Adroit's pulling out all of the surprise picks all of a sudden. I wonder how surprising they actually are, given against a team that should know them a lot more intimately than we do.
Yeah.
But
this is a moment I wish I was taller, like Grant.
Sorry, you're not.
I've gotten the message. I'm just messing. Oh, okay. Well, there's your win condition. Usually, when there's nothing clear for you to do, the best option is to make it so when nothing's happening in the game, you're winning.
Yeah.
And the Alchemist is a pretty decent hero for that entire idea. Is it going to be good enough? I don't know.
Yeah, so we look at these two lineups now. I mean, Naga and TA, they're going to be in that jungle a bit. Alchemist, it's a last pick Alchemist and a Lone Druid. I should just say, which core duo do you like more, the Naga TA or the Alchemist Lone Druid?
I think the Alchemist is not greedy enough. I don't think they recover the draft. I think the Naga TA are going to get all the farm they want and crush it.
I agree. I like Geek Fam more.
Okay, sounds like we might be having a game 3, but you know who might know a little bit better? Dakota and Blitz.
Wow, thank you, Grant. We'll see if we know better or not as we get into game number 2 of Geek Fam versus Adroit. I'm here with Blitz, of course. Now, these lineups look a little more farm-centric. Let's build up what we got, and then we'll use that. Now, on one side, as mentioned, it's TA Naga Siren. On the other side, Alchemist, Lone Druid. And Lone Druid is already pretty scarce in the Southeast Asia scene, so kind of intriguing on the side of Adroit.
Yeah, I mean, I think Lone Druid right now is a really good hero. Like, you have an easy way to go high ground. I really just like free high ground hitters. That's why I'm a big fan of like Meepo, Lone Druid, Lycan, all these heroes that have like a easy, clear way to end the game at a reasonable time. I think are really good. I agree with the panel when it comes to like the Naga being very good this game, but I actually think that Geek Fam are gonna lack for damage again. I sort of feel like that's going to be their issue 2 games in a row.
All right, we'll have to see if that's going to be the case or not. Let's hop into it now. ESL 1 LA Online Edition coming your way. I hope you are ready for nearly a month long of Dota action, because we are. We're going to be traveling into the studio here every day to commentate and bring you some awesome Dota action from across multiple region fronts. Here, of course, starting things out, the Southeast Asia region, we have Geek Fam, like one of the top seeds of the region. Smoked out. We're going to have an early head-on clash potentially here, Will. Disruption's already there. There's the stun that makes it all that much easier. The Thunder Strike. Bach trying to push him back, but he's not even going to bother leveling anything up and trying to make it out. That's just going to be a clean and easy first blood going the way of the Geek Fam.
Yeah, nice and easy for them. They need a good early game start. They didn't really have that last game. This time around, nice, clean, and easy. I will say, I love watching Southeast Asian teams. I think they're so aggressive. After spending like significant time when I was on Zephyr in that region, it's great. Everyone just runs at each other. It's kind of toxic because you've got like dual lane mids, but no one's like really throwing the game. You just kind of make it work.
Just kind of like, we were talking about MMA before. Like, I want to see brawlers, brawlers, and I get it. Jiu-jitsu and submission, shoot, wrestle fighting. It's got its discipline, it's got appreciation, but the fan favorite and what people want to see is the brawlers.
Yeah, I just want to see 2 guys trying to knock each other out, and that is what we get here. Look at this dive. Like, what am I watching? But they're doing it.
An assertion of dominance is what we're seeing here, but
he skilled rocket.
Oh, he got the rocket snipe.
All right, he grieves his game a little bit, but that is a boss move. 100% agree with that. Brian, was that worth it?
More tips for that one. I don't know if they.
I don't know. I don't know if they can hear us, but I don't know.
Now he has rocket for the laning phase, so we'll see. He already dishes out another one. He's like, I'm just going to use it to push the lane back as best I can, but him and Enchantress are going to have to make do. With
Why not? Rocket. Actually, you're against Naga Siren. You're never going to get on top of her. You might as well. I actually think this might be one of those like weird games where
it works out.
Yeah. weirdly enough.
They just have to shrug off a lot of the harassment coming out from those Thunder Strikes. You know, Clarities have gotten, you know, buffed. It's like buff nerfed in a way. But I don't know, I kind of like it. I mean, just juice up more mana that much faster to dish out the extra harassment from a support like Disruptor, who does have pretty good damage with the Thunder Strike early on.
Dude, I love the new Clarity.
Yeah.
It feels like you just get full mana every single time within like seconds.
Radiant's courier
More value
has
for
been
like even
killed.
later games when you see people just pocket Clarities to get the mana up. It just works in those cases even that much better.
Yeah, I really, really, really like this decision by iStrong to like make him better. Because before it was just like, why would you get a Clarity when you could buy mangoes? Like, what is the advantage in this? And, oh, they messed up that combo.
Oh.
Actually, I think he was afraid of getting stunned from maybe the Carapace. I'm not sure though.
Maybe trying to force out the Carapace, trying to chunk through his mana that much earlier, but not going to be the case. He steps off. He's got the headdress. He'll try to heal it up in a couple of wand charges. Work with the pull for now.
Wait, I had a mechanics question. Brian, BSJ, if you get Shadow Demon disrupted by the enemy team, and then they Naga, they like, or they Disruptor ulti on top, can you BKB out of it? As you exit the... If, like, you get Ags disrupted. Not with Ags? I see. Because I know, for example, if you get Shadow Demon... If you're a Chrono, for example, and your Shadow Demon saves you and you're Lifestealer, you can always get Rage off in the Chrono after you exit the disruption. You do that one? Okay.
Oh, this time the combo's there. The stun immediately after disruption.
That's one thing I love about Dota. There's so many weird interactions that you like never expect until you test it yourself. That's what I love about Brian too. Normally he has the answer to that stuff.
I normally just imagine a lot of you guys are thinking about these possible interactions, then jump into demo mode to find out for sure. Hopefully it's something exploitable that you can take advantage without the frog noticing. But meanwhile, bottom lane, they chase down White Mom and finish off the support. Bach this time playing the off-lane Clockwork. And
Dude, maybe they're just like the best Clockwork team in the world.
I mean, they're making it work. Good shot was really good for them in the last game, and this time they're going to see if they can get that off-lane Clockwork online that much sooner for all the setups.
So far, so good. I think... So the panel did say like they thought it was like a very, very good Naga game, but I personally feel like it's a very, very free out game too. And I don't think they have the damage necessary to kill Alk. Like they're gonna have to hit this timing where Alk... Like they're gonna have to get Disruptor Aghanim Scepter, because at some point Alk is going to get BKB right after Radiance, and he's just going to go to work on them, I feel. He's going to cut them off.
Here we go again, disruption stun, the Carapace is there, Cuckoo eats a bit of damage, is now forced to run the other direction.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Oh, the bear still chases on. Shadow Poison's coming out. Ooh, nice little entangle at the end with the stun! Stun comes out from the other side, but that's not going to be enough. Nice forgiving little entangle. It means that Natsumi will pick it up. And apparently I've been saying it wrong. I feel terrible. It's Adroit? Not
Yes, sir.
Android. Adroit. Adroit. Okay. I don't want to say it incorrect. Thank you so much for correcting me on that. I'm a little rusty on my Southeast Asia Dota.
Courier.
Oh no.
That's a South too.
That's rough. I know, you know, the whole like passive gold thing is not a thing anymore, but that's still got to be a bit crippling early on.
I'd be so mad. Whenever I'm a mid laner and that happens to me, oh, it kills me at the core.
I didn't see it go down in particular. Was it just a bit of an overstep for the courier, and TA was able to kind of...
He just eye-bladed behind him. I don't even think he was going for it. That's just one of those
convenient.
All right, here's the best part about Alk games: the fight for the bounty runes. You try to get 3 if you're really good.
Oh, sniped up. Geek them, grab the true.
It's 2-2,
And they'll take White Mon for it.
dude. They're so good at clock. I have no idea. Maybe it's just Southeast Asian teams in general are just like the best clock players. Because I thought it was just ice, but apparently they're just all good with it.
He's going 2-0-2, no cogs at all for the time being.
I think that's the right play. Like, who are you really trying to cogs?
Yeah. Maybe just get the value point once you get closer to having hookshot online. But
Yeah, maybe. It's kind of okay for TA, actually. Maybe you should grab a level for the TA. You are core.
Trouble for top, big stun onto Cuckoo and all the neutrals. But the poisons are flying out from the back lines here.
He is not getting
chase.
He is not getting roots. Oh my lord, Dakota, he did not get roots.
Fortunately, RNG not there for our lone druid friend, and that kill will slip away from him.
As a caster, by the way, I personally always root for the RNG to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
You'd rather see the. Well,
I don't
guess
care
it goes
who it
both
happens
ways.
to. Like, I love seeing the opportune DD runes. You know, finding the haste as you're getting chased and it's the only rune that can save you. Like, all that stuff, I love it.
Definitely makes for better action and convenience.
Can
for
you
sure.
block?
Oh, the bird not able to get quite in front. Whitemon slips that away, but, you know, Adroit claiming dominance here in the bottom lane. Not able to get too much damage onto the tier 1 quite yet. Raven still holds that line strong. They are putting pressure on the mid lane, though. That DD rune in hand of Carl. He's able to siege away, get some early shots. They definitely want to kind of restrict the available mid farm, or just kind of make things a bit awkward for the Alchemist, I imagine, so he can't just be as free in the mid lane.
The timing we're looking for here is 12 and a half, 13 minutes for Radiant. That's when you're like, you know, chef's kiss, sweet spot. That's when you're really happy. Anything later than that, it feels really bad, because Alk, especially when he gets Radiance, it feels like you're exponentially growing your lead. And so every minute for that hero matters. You're like, well, does like a 15-minute Radiance really matter? Because it's a difference between getting like a 13-minute Radiance into like getting a BKB like 3 or 4 minutes later versus getting it at like 20 minutes into the game where enemy heroes have items as well. Like, you're placing your own items against the enemies at all times is how you should think when you're playing Alk. Like, you always want to be at least an item ahead of everyone on the map.
Is it enough of a potential threat that it warrants the attention of Geek Fam? Should they be considering putting attention onto this Alchemist so he can't secure the Radiance in that ideal timing? Or are they okay just kind of getting their own out of it and hoping that Naga can just try to meet along the way?
I think they're kind of okay. Just get some roots, get some roots, get some roots.
Oh, Cuckoo dancing around his tower through the trees. Nothing there to lock him down. And it is going to be Zephyr who falls. Destruction's there onto Natsumi as he tries to make his hasty escape with the bear as well.
He's getting a little bit low here. Does have to be a little bit concerned, and he does finally get one, but he'd have to get like 3 in a row to get the kill.
Wait, what? What? Did he just have that many poison stacks still stacked on top of him?
Yeah, and that's level 3 poison. I don't think he expected that.
That is level 3 poison. That's a hard snap of the poison damage.
I think he just got hit by like a 5 bomb, and he was like, oh, whatever.
That's a lot of money for the little shadow demon. My goodness.
He's actually really leveled off of that.
Hook shot out. Bach has it. Still no cogs yet. With 3-0-2 on this one, but more than enough to get the job done if you're chasing down someone like Whitemon support. Meanwhile, on this side, it's Carl able to assist in getting the slap down of CML there. So a tit for tat as we get the 9-minute mark. It's about to be outpost time, so look for the attention here. Certainly coming out from Adroit towards the bottom lane. Maybe seeing if they can try to circle around that outpost.
They have to find a way to get more than 2 bounties. That's always like one of my favorite things, by the way. As I mentioned earlier, is you do have to strategize a little bit differently against Alk teams. Because if you're getting like 3 for 1 bounty runes, again, this hero, like, the amount that you get from bounties is so massive. And the 10-minute and 5-minute bounty runes, like everything before the 15-minute mark matters so much. Because once he gets his Radiance, it's like, whatever. He's going to get a ton of gold anyways. But like, the 5 and 10-minute bounty runes, where he's starting to ramp up his farm really, if you can get rid of all of them, or if you can even get rid of 3, you're really, really, really happy.
Well, while that happens, we do have a bit of a pause here. I'm trying to look over some of the buildups coming out from the other side. Carl, who was assisting in that recent takedown, looks like he's slotted up, going for the Deso first, then the Blink thereafter on this TA. You know, I guess, you know, you don't want to go for the Blink too early if you don't have any sort of extra follow-up DPS. I imagine this team might just kind of come together to be able to make it work. I mean, do you think once Disruptor, oh man, he's only level 3, I was going to say, gets to level 6, you have Sleep and you have that combo coming out, but do they even have the time to wait out for that, or should they kind of have a call to action sooner?
I think you probably just wait for your TA to get Deso and then you start making moves. But yeah, this is, alright, here's the play, right? What needs to happen now is they need to get a Philosopher's Stone. A lot of players have this theory that when a Disruptor's in the game, Philosopher's Stone has like increased 30% chance of dropping.
Yeah.
of course it's complete BS.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. But players are superstitious, and it'll just prove them right if this happens this game.
Winding from miles away.
For now, though, they're going to get some heavy siege going. I mean, once that Deso does come online, they have that. They have the Lesh. Lesh going in for more of the double bracer. The heavy stat tanky build up here. They can start clearing out tier 1s. Hopefully trying to restrict the farming that is available for this ALK to really come online. But that is on Geek Fam to kind of try to get something done. For now, though, TA obviously working through the tremendous amount of stack camps that are all around. Fox stepping in now to try to disrupt that flow a bit.
Oh, he's dead. Oh, wow. Okay. I don't think he expected Cuckoo to do that damage, and that was a really nice move by Cuckoo. He takes a tower, too.
And he throws the tip at him. Just no class coming out.
He's getting really farmed.
Is under attack.
Yeah, TA been chunking through all those neutral camps that have been farmed on the side. And pretty much for the past, like, 2 minutes, I feel, just straight neutral farming. They're going to take their outpost back. Fox nearby, though, jumps in.
A little bit too late.
And was not able to cancel the outpost. But he just goes right for it himself. 5 seconds to go. It gets canceled from the disruption. Is that going to be enough? And it should be. The outpost is not going to get changed over. They will secure their own XP.
Did they get both? Yeah.
But they do get the ensnare and a cute little takedown, unshadowed even for their trouble. But yeah, that means no extra EXP boost for Adroit going to be there.
How many? What's the bounty rune split? That's really what I care about. Looks like it's going to be 2 for 2 again.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's 10 minutes, 23 seconds of the game. Yeah, remember I said 12, 13 minutes? 12 minutes is like, pretty happy about that. Especially with the laning phase where he just kind of got shoved out. Just forced in the jungle early. Both bounty runes are still up. That's making me a little bit nervous, Dakota.
Yeah, but, you know,
I'll walk by it.
Adroit don't even seem privy to it at all.
Dude, okay, if Boomy go down, Boomy. No, run south. You would have found it.
Oh, he's got spotted. There's a sentry ward right there. And he just gets blasted. I don't even see it. She ain't gonna see it now. Oh.
It's like, oh, well. Oh, also, he went blink. He swerved on us.
Oh, he did.
I thought he was gonna go Deso. I thought he was gonna go Deso and like try to prompt an early Roche or something.
Well, Disruptor is about to be 6. So we got team fight. She can blink in, and we saw the damage there on the Nyx Assassin, even without the Deso. Certainly make it happen.
Oh, the Alchemist Dream, the little skeleton spawners. Let's go, Troll Summoners. That's like an additional, like, 2 full creeps throughout.
Yeah. That had been, like, in the game forever, I feel. Just the fact that ever since Alchemist got that skill, it was like, oh, you always want to get those neutral camps that have the extra spawns. Here we have a shift from Geek Fam towards the bottom lane. Zephyr leading out the charge. Wards to the high ground. They'll see Boomy nearby. Do they want to commit? He's a little out of reach. And he already goes into his ult and heads up the other side.
There is something I should mention, by the way, with something that changed with Alk's ulti is like Chemical Rage no longer gives you mana regen. So illusion-based heroes absolutely wreck you. Like PL, Naga, when it comes to like the later phase of the game, you feel really good playing against those, or you feel really bad playing against those types of heroes as Alchemist.
Radiant are scared.
Like they will start to outskill you when your BKB gets low. So the first timing of the BKB for Mac is going to be massive. But he does get it at 12.5 minutes. We said like, what, 12 to 13, he'll be alright. So just right in the middle there.
And what about the Lone Druid? I feel like most of the attention has been on the Alchemist for them. I'm looking over Lone Druid's items. It's nothing to really get excited over. It feels like he could just quickly be overshadowed. Is there any chance for him to be really relevant in this game, or is it just feels like Alchemist is the star of the show?
I think Alk has to be the star of the show.
Okay.
There's something really bad about this game too, is like Mac really has no one to give Ags to. There are no Ags target. It might actually be Clockwork is your best bet for giving Ags to. Nyx is really good too, I guess, but that's like because your Nyx is already so poor. Like, he doesn't have levels. Boomy is level 6 at 13 minutes. You need levels for that item, and so I feel like your 2 cores don't benefit from it as much as a lot of other cores do. It's not like got like a Zeus on her team or something.
Yeah.
So, for me anyways, the attention kind of has to be on the Alc. Like, he himself has to win this game. If it gets to the point where he's giving out Ags to everybody, I feel like they'll have lost at that
Bottom,
point.
jump in, hook shot, all for Zephyr. Be an easy snipe. And yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much right there with you. I think that makes the decisions a bit easier if Adroit feel like they're going to be on the offensive. Clockwork feels like a great candidate for the Ags to get those hookshot steps. Maybe later on, if they find themselves in a defensive position on the high ground, Nyx could certainly make a lot of use out of that Ags. Meanwhile, mid lane, CML sniped down. Jumping from Carl there with the DD.
I just think that at that point the game's over.
Yeah, I mean, if they're on the defensive high ground, then it's already not looking so good, I imagine.
We're going 90 minutes against a Naga, let's go.
Oh, yeah, later as it goes, it only gets better for Geek Fam. But that's kind of a bit of how it was last game, too. Here we'll see Adroit just not letting up one bit and the Geek Fam turf, but they see all the TPs and they decide to pump the brakes.
I really like how they play, though.